Very good evening to all of you. Welcome to today's session.
Good
Good
evening,
evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So, today's session is about doubt resolution. So, I think we did a couple of, from the last resolution, we have had a couple of lectures. And you all can start. Uh, so, few things I wanted to point out, which I'll request Simran to take a note and circulate also. As per the last to last discussion in the last to last lecture, based on the majority of the respondents' view, there will be one exam, and the date of the exam is shifted by plus 1 week. So these are the two things, and I think, of course, there will be group projects. We discussed group size 7. So what is the progress on formation of the groups? Have many of you been able to form groups? Simran, I think we had circulated a sheet for the group information.
Only one group has filled it, ma'am.
Okay, okay,
Oh, we did it. Uh,
okay.
are you saying only one group did it? I don't think so.
I think
Simran,
a lot
can
of
you
people
just...
did that thing.
Yeah, 11 as of right now.
So 11 groups
Okay,
have been formed, right?
okay.
Yeah.
That
So
means
how will I,
77 people
how will
are
I
on
know
group.
I'm which group and all? Because I not in like any group right now. How do I can know that one which group I'm part of? That Excel
Yeah,
sheet
yeah.
giving any clear
Simran,
picture.
please pull it up. Sorry to interrupt, Ajit.
Yes, ma'am. I'll just want to add that it's been quite chaotic just discussing about the group formation on the group. I'm just saying it for myself, not for all. But yeah, there is no knowledge about who all are included and who all are left and what is the status.
Can you please enlarge slightly, Simran? Maybe if required, we can scroll it. It's too small. Yeah, I think that's good. Thanks. So yeah, you can scroll it to the right slowly.
Ma'am, I have a question. Is it compulsory to have 7 members in the group, or one minus and one plus will do?
So 7 definitely you should have. It is possible that one or two students, because of the total number, one or two groups might have 8, but definitely not 6.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So I think, Simran, maybe you can, if it's okay with all of you, then we can share this populated Excel as for benefit of all of you. So you can know who's in what group.
Yes, ma'am. I think that will
Okay.
work. Thank you.
Okay, so that's about the group. Those who have not yet accommodated yourselves in a group, then please do that. Maybe by the next week, please do that so that we can do some group activities also. Okay. So I think we can start with the doubts. Okay, Sakshi, you have raised a hand.
Yeah, hi, ma'am.
Yeah.
Regarding the exam date, I had pinged it at the chat as well, and I pinged it last time also. That 14th and 15th, I won't be available. I know it's like difficult, like everyone asking the same thing, but it will be difficult for me to join on that day. So will it be possible to just postpone it?
So the thing is, you all need to decide on a date. February 8th from my side was fine, except for one learner who had his wedding on that day. Definitely that's a little unavoidable. So at that time I had proposed, probably I think we didn't see your hand, Sakshi, to shift by 1 week. So from 8th to be what? 15th, something like that.
Yeah, 15th Sunday, yeah, that day.
So you are saying that you are having a clash on that day.
Yes.
Uh,
Actually, I
so
pinged it last time, but maybe that might have been missed. So
okay. So then what do we do? Why don't you all suggest a date to me right now, which at least all of you who are here, you are agreeable with. You want to shift it by another week, then it becomes what? 22nd, I think. Is 22nd
yes,
okay?
22nd it will be.
But ma'am, if anyone else who is not there, then again we will be in trouble.
Yeah, that is the issue. That's why from my side it was February 8th, but now that is the issue. What about 22nd? All of you who are here, has anyone got a clash? Then we can circulate the date and ask the rest of the majority people are here. If there's a clash, 22nd, anyone having a clash, please write on the chat.
Actually, this February week is the marriage season, So right now we cannot say that. I mean, there is no issue as of now, but I think we are too early to decide the date.
See, the thing is that, yeah,
And
I'll give you a chance.
and we have 100 people, right? So from your side, you can finalize the date and just share with us. And if someone 1 or 2% is not available, we can accommodate something else for them, or you can accommodate something else for them. Because 100 people have something on same day, it can possible, like probability you can say.
That's true what you are saying. That's why I shared the date. Also, the date is shared well in advance so that you keep that slot. So, or else we keep it February 8th only.
Ma'am, can I suggest one thing?
Yeah.
Can we do something like this? Can we just poll out the for the people who are actually having some issues in February, so we can get all those dates all together, and we can pick any other date which is not those dates, exclusive of that. That would work
I
for them.
think that will be a little difficult. What we can do is that we can give 2 or 3 options and then see who all are. But again, the same problem here also,
Yeah,
nobody had
correct.
pointed out except for one person. That is the thing. Okay, I
Right,
can.
that's why I was thinking, like, if we can poll out the dates which everybody is not comfortable with. So that way we'll have very limited dates. I mean, 4 5 dates only limited. Then we can pick any other
No,
date.
but if there are 100 people, it's not necessary. It will be 4 5. It may be more, right? So it's
Yeah.
more easy to work on dates where people are available, maybe 2 or 3 such dates. I don't know how to work on that. In the meantime, I think Chandralekha has raised a hand for a long time. What do you want to say?
Yes. Hi, ma'am. So it's regarding the final use case. Could you please confirm if the use case will be provided to us, or are we expected to define and proceed with our own use case?
So as of now, what we had decided and we have done, I have done in the past, that we provide the use case in such a way that all the groups have equal amount of work to be done. Because the only issue with you all choosing the use case is that somebody may have a larger quantum of work, somebody will have smaller, and also it should encompass mostly all of the things that you have read. It shouldn't be such that try to express or illustrate some part of knowledge that you have gained and the rest is just overlooked. So as of now, that is what is final, that we will be providing use case. However, as we go along, it will become more clear. I'm working on those. Okay, if you have any specific suggestion, you can give.
Sure, ma'am. Thanks for the confirmation.
Yes, Venki, what did you want to say?
Is someone saying something?
Yeah, your
Uh,
voice is distorted, Venki.
It's not
Oh,
audible, Venki.
Venki, or we cannot hear you.
It's not audible.
Yeah, Venki, you can type it in the chat maybe.
so Venki, do you want to fix and come back? Shall I take the next one and then you can come back? Or you would want to? So it's not audible at all. So I'll request you to either write on the chat or else connect again. Next, whosoever has raised the hand, you can come in. Or
Yeah,
Simran, maybe you can announce the order. Yes.
I think I raised the next one. So I see that one, this Excel sheet. Thanks, Simran, for sharing the list. So the thing is, as I said as earlier, also my time zones are different. I'm in US right now. So the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, the groups has been. This is Suresh. The
Yeah.
groups has already formed it, and Simran was saying that in the chart she's saying that myself only to find the students and then form a group under. I'm not having much connections to here to form a group and other things. So it's difficult for me. So that's the reason I was voted for that one to either institution or ma'am herself create a groups and then add me as the part of the projects. So it's difficult for me to find a people and go and join to the group, and it's difficult for me.
Okay. So what we
Like
can do for you, Suresh, is that let's wait for the groups to be formed. So wherever there's a deficit, or else you can right now, you can see on the chat, lot of people are writing about their experience, domain and all. Maybe you can also add yourself. If you are getting accommodated, it is fine. Otherwise, I'll do it at the end.
yeah,
Let
sure,
the exercise be done by the people themselves. But those who are left out, I will accommodate. Don't worry.
sure, Durga. Thank you so much, Durga. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, next, who is it?
Ma'am, am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, on the exam dates, right? Like now we are saying it's on February 8 or 26th. We are actually around 6 months far away from there, right? We don't know like what will be our project commitments, no, like on that suddenly on the specific dates. So is it possible if we can have, no, like two options, one specific day, and if we miss out some another day, the questions can be different, right?
So actually, normally we don't have any re-exam, and as you know, nowhere final exams are held twice. So it's best that we try to have all of you work on one date. The it's not about people not being have able to, the thing is that if we don't tell well in advance, the last moment, it is possible that somebody might plan something. So that's why we are saying well ahead of time. But definitely, I cannot commit on two exams as of now. I can't do that. I would like to keep it on one day as is the practice. It will be difficult to have it two, because the thing is that again making two papers, so it is possible that one of the papers becomes a little hard or becomes a little, it's always possible from my side, even if I try, but somebody can always say this is easier, had I attempted this, and all that, it becomes really difficult. So we'll go for one exam only.
Okay, fine, madam. Yeah.
Ma'am, regarding the project,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think we also covered a lot of machine learning concepts, but I think most of us would be really interested to work on agent building agentic systems using
Mm-hmm.
generative AI, fine tuning the models, those kind of things, rather than working on structured data to build the machine learning models. So
Mm-hmm.
when you are saying that we will be creating the problem statements, use cases based
Mm-hmm.
on whatever we have learned, does that mean we'll be having to use machine learning? Like if I have to work on machine learning project, I wouldn't be so much interested.
So, so we are still out of 11 months at 2 months, around 2 months, right? So you will be reading all that stuff that you are mentioning. And as I said, the project will encompass whatever you have read. Since this course is primarily on generative AI and agentic AI, that has to be part of the project. That has to be the primary part of the project. And teaching it directly is possible, much easier for me. But I have always seen that most of the people, even when they have experience, they come from industry, they haven't formally studied machine learning or haven't used and read machine learning. Because if you don't know all these algorithms, then you can't use the other advanced concepts also. So that is the reason why I'm taking all this.
Okay, ma'am, got it.
And I like it this way, ma'am, the way you are doing it.
Thank you.
Yep, same here, ma'am.
Thank you. So I've experienced this many a times that even when people feel they might have been using, but when you actually study it, you come to know so many things and you start feeling that you could have done it much better, having had the background. And without having that foundational background, it's difficult to gather other stuff. Okay, anyone else who has had questions regarding anything generic, and then we can start on the technical questions.
Excuse ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask, like in the final project, ma'am, can we use the research papers to enhance it as a project, ma'am?
Definitely, that will always be a very good add-on. Are you in a research role right now?
Yes, ma'am, at Triple IT Allahabad.
Okay, so what are you doing there? PhD?
As a JRF, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. 11
Okay,
months
fine.
time. today.
Okay. Okay. Okay, next, whosoever it is.
Yeah, ma'am. Just I think you answered about it, but like regarding the building of projects, or if we can build any specific agent project or not. So I'm just wanting to understand here, so we are open to also suggest from our end, right? That's what you said. Just clarifying once again from my end, if there are any interest that we find as a group to work on a project, that should also be fine, or we have to do something that you would suggest. Certainly we will take that into heat, but just trying to understand, ma'am, how that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as of now, what we have decided to do is that from our side, we will be giving project topics. There won't be one topic. There'll be multiple of those. Okay, and it's possible that of course they won't be equal to the number of groups, but there will be multiple topics. And keeping in view that every group gets a topic which is which is comprising or which incorporates most of the concepts that you would have learned up to the end, and the quantum of work required to be done could be same in for all the groups. Keeping all that in view, the problem statements, what I was thinking was could be given from our side. But if you have some suggestion So if there are groups that want to take up problem statements, we can think about that also. Let's first, so what we can do is let the groups be formed, and if the groups have certain specific topics that are of interest, then we can discuss it maybe in a similar class, or I can schedule an extra session for discussion on whether the topics, what are the topics. We can just have a discussion on that. But the idea right now is that we will be giving the topics. There will be multiple topics, but we can also think about groups giving their topics. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, ma'am. No, I mean, the only reason why I was asking is like maybe there is some burning problem that people have seen in their career or in their industry or workplace, and that can be solved with AI real time and something that can help in their career long term also. I mean, in that sense, I'm thinking. So if there is something of that sort of an idea, if we can suggest and work on that as a group, that's the only thing. I mean, I'm sure the topics that you folks will provide us, they would be also good to work on. But just clarifying, I mean, if that would be also allowed, yeah.
We can permit, but we'll discuss this once the
Absolutely.
groups are
Yeah.
formed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I think we are done with the generic discussion. Now I'm open for any technical questions or queries you may have from what we have covered. I think a couple of you had made a request for a resolution session on code also. So actually earlier I had planned to keep it the next week. It might probably not happen the next weekend, though I had indicated that. So I'll inform you on LMS on that. But there will be one soon, definitely. Maybe next week or next to next week, there will be one. Okay. So I think there is a question by Andrew that can we have a project for publication? If it is a novel idea and you can illustrate that it has not been done earlier, yes, we can consider it for a publication also. But it should have amount of work, I mean, quantum of work should be quite high, and there should be some novelty in the work. Then only that can be done. So I can see Sumitra, you have raised a hand. Please go ahead.
Ma'am, it's related to the question. Can I go ahead or
Sure,
not
sure.
generic one?
No,
Ma'am,
no.
in the LASSO, to avoid overfitting, we introduce a value T, right? And there is a formula followed by that. So, it's possible for you to explain that? I tried to go through the video, but I couldn't get that
Okay,
clearly.
okay. So allow me a minute. I'll just
Sure,
pull up
sure.
the slides. Just 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes. Oh, am I sharing my screen or not? Not yet.
Not yet, I think, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, I'm just opening the slide. Okay. So what do you, okay, you want to understand how T is playing a role, is it? Are
Yeah.
you able to, yeah, you're all able to see the slide transition?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, this is what I had explained earlier, that I'll I'll go over it again. Let me just. Right. Okay. So for any normal uh, regression problem, we have this predicted value of y equal to alpha plus beta x plus epsilon. It's a simple problem with a single independent variable or a single predictor. So this means that if we are talking about, and because if we talk about the actual value, this is the actual value, then, and this is the predicted value. So between them, there'll be a difference, which is called the error, epsilon. So this means that if we are talking about, let's say, yi, that is the ith observation, then it will be equal to alpha plus beta j xij plus epsilon I. So that is error on the ith observation plus all the observations, means beta j into xij, that is independent variable. And each of these, as I explained, this J stands for the total number of attributes that are there. So if there are P number of attributes, so we are going to do summation over all these attributes. So that's it. That is how this term is coming. Okay, so, and the same thing I've written here, yi is equal to alpha plus beta j, that is the coefficient of regression, xij summed over all the attributes plus the error I. But what is this actually? If I expand it, it is beta 1 xi1 plus beta 2 xi2 plus beta p xip for all the p attributes, right? This is the error and this is the alpha term. And then having that, we can find out the error and then square it, because we always talk about the sum of squared errors. So this is how we are getting this term, squaring it. And this is for the ith observation. So the sum total over all observations will be squaring of this and then adding it for all n observations. Okay. Now, we to avoid overfitting. So what is happening is that overfitting is happening because on the given data, to fit the given data, all these coefficients are being adjusted by the model in such a way that they are, the model is completely fitting on the training data. So if we are given a training data and it's the accuracy on the training data is, say, very high, say 98% or 90%, then the model is trying to fit each and every point of the data, which may not be correct. I had given you an example. Let's say you have this kind of a data, points. So if the model is overfitted, it will draw a line like this. It will fit a model like this. The model is trying to fit each and every point, whereas the model should have been like this, right? A smooth curve. So, and in order to fit all these coefficients unnecessarily come in. Okay, and they might be having some large values also. So therefore, to avoid all this, what lasso and ridge regression do is that they consider some value t, okay, and what the sum of all the coefficients must be less than or equal to t. So now what are we doing? We are putting a constraint on the values of t. And when we are, so that the summation of all these values is less than or equal to t. And as a result, what will happen is, so this is what I'm showing you. And then as a result, what will happen is that the coefficients cannot become very large. And when the coefficients cannot become very large, then overfitting will not happen. Now, there are two cases. In case of lasso, some of the coefficients can be zero. But in case of ridge, coefficients cannot be zero, but they will become small. Okay. So coefficients will become 0 y in lasso, say for example, we take the example, I'm just explaining with the help of example. Let's say there are two predictors, beta 1, I mean x1, x2, with the coefficients beta 1 and beta 2. And let's assume with the help of least square method, beta 1 equal to beta 2 is 10, which is plotted here. Now, let's say we set the value of t equal to 4. When we set the value of t equal to 4, it means that the summation of the mod of the values of beta 1 and beta 2 has to be less than or equal to 4. Let's say in an example, they can be 2 comma 2. And this is what they are plotted here, 2 comma 2. Okay, there can be other possibilities also. One case could be beta 1 is 0 and beta 2 is 4. So there can be a combination like 0, 4 or 4, 0. And then we can plot these also. It's shown here. And sorry, this is 5. So it will be a little lower. So this is 5. So this is 4. Right. So this is like 0 comma 4. Similarly, here there could be 4 comma 0 and all that. So if we try to plot all the values, these will be the combinations. And what we will get is this kind of a rhombus. This is when the value of t has to be, the summation of the beta has to be less than or equal to 4. Right. Similarly, we could keep it 8 also. Accordingly, the diamond will become a little larger, like that. So what are we trying to do actually here? And I'll show it with this figure. We have this value, which is given by the ordinary least square. This is a value for the coefficients where overfitting was there and error was 0. Now, this is 0 error. So what we try to do is, and this is the case where coefficients are 0. Here the coefficients are having some large values like 10 and 10, and the error is 0. In this case, coefficients are 0, right? So now we want to actually, what we want to do is, we want to somehow increase the error in slightly. Regularization means that we want to avoid overfitting by trying to increase the error. So we have to increase the error in such a way that the model becomes generic. But we cannot make it so generic that the coefficients become 0. And if here the coefficients become 0, then what happens? We get a equation like y is equal to alpha, right? Because beta 1, beta 2, if beta 1 equal to beta 2 is equal to 0. This is this case, origin. So then it becomes a constant value, and this becomes overly generic or too underfitted. So we don't want this also. See, we want something in between. This is overfitting, this is underfitting. So we want to create some error, and how much we want to create go down is decided by this t value, right? So this is putting a constraint on how much generality we want to bring in such a way that the coefficients get reduced and the overall model becomes free from overfitting. So this is whole idea about regularization. Now in case of lasso, as I've shown you, this constraint will always form a diamond, and whenever we are trying to reduce, so, and see here there is 0 error. We can assume there is 0 error. Here there will be maximum error. So in a process to while we are bringing this point or coefficient values towards more error, what can happen is that we want to still go for a value that increases the error from 0 to something positive, but still it is optimally minimal, right? So how this is going to work? So now this was the point of 10 comma 10 assume, and these ellipsoids represent the mean square error. So if we plot the error, this error, so this particular diamond is the constraint value, and this is the error I had shown you earlier. This is represented by these, the ellipses. So for different value combinations of the beta coefficients, different ellipsoids will be formed. So what we want is, we want a point that intersects this mean square value, intersects the diamond. That is, it satisfies the constraint of the diamond. That's why it will intersect. And since I already told you this is zero error and this is max error, and we want to increase the error to become non-zero so that the model becomes generalized, but still we want it to be optimally low only. We don't want it to be a max error case where, because in that case we are actually going towards underfitting. So what will happen in this process, as I showed you in this diagram, always, so these are the mean square error lines I told you, the ellipsoids. So whenever we are going away towards a non-zero error case, what will happen is that, so as we go from outside this direction, we propagate outside. If this is mean square error 1 value, then MSE 1 will always be less than MSE 2, and this will be your MSE 2, right? So like that, 3, 4. So the lower, I mean the inner the ellipsoid is, the lower is the mean square error because it is nearer to the zero error case. So you can see here that the line that fits the mean square, lower mean square error will always pass through the vertex of the diamond. And other intersecting points are also there, but the mean square error is always higher. So the intersection between the mean square error and the constraint will always happen at the vertex. This was the case of lasso. So is it clear to you now? Who had
Yeah.
asked? Sumitra, you had asked.
Yeah, ma'am. And ma'am, the T is predictable, right? It is not a constant value.
No,
The
it's
way
a
we,
value. It's a value. It's not predictable. So the
okay,
constraint is predefined.
okay.
We want to put in some amount of generalization.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that, some value for T is decided in
Okay,
advance.
okay, got it. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions on this part? Because I'm sharing the slides. If someone else's has, then we can use it. Otherwise, I'll put them away. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. So in case you all don't have any questions, then I'll try to ask you something. Just let me pull up something. Give me a 2 minutes.
Ma'am, can I ask something about linear regression?
Sure, you can. Please go ahead.
Yeah, because I thought everybody was talking more about the recent one. Uh, 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 so today I was studying linear regression before this class. So I was at the R square point. And I did some more research onto web, to have more relatable thought about it. Why? So I didn't consider. So when we were learning about decision tree and random forest, where the accuracy, if the accuracy is more, then we are worried about that the technique will be more overfitting. But why the high R square, or in our slide also the R square was 85%. But why there I am aware that there is a root mean square and other techniques other than R square for the accuracy. But why higher R square is not considered as an overfitting for linear regression?
Because R square actually represents the correlation. So I had actually, I'll have to pick up. I don't recollect in which one I had told you about R square. Let me just try to pick that up. Give me 2 minutes. So I think I had taken up R square. either in as part of the matrix that we had done. Just trying to search it now.
So, ma'am, always a higher R square value will be good. So, for example, if
Yes.
I get,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I just wanted to understand that only because I was getting a bit confused about that overfitting and underfitting. But I think R square is not related to that. It's not showing us the accuracy. It's just showing us the correlation between the
Yeah.
target and the feature.
So actually, so this R squared right now, I do not remember the exact, sorry for that, the slide deck. I was trying to pull the matrix there.
It's
I
in
had not
the
yet checked.
linear regression, ma'am. From there, I was talking, but fine.
Okay, let me check just 1 second. But it actually, it just shows the amount of variation that is there. Okay, yeah. So it just represents the amount of variance that gets captured. Um, uh, the variance, sorry, I mentioned it incorrectly earlier. Now I recollect very nicely that you're right, I had shown it in that regression. So in classification and regression, that if we are talking about certain, representation, then how much of the variance of the dependent, uh, variable that is being picked up by a particular predictor. So how good a predictor is for making a prediction for a particular, for a particular variable. So the amount of variation in the target variable that is picked up by the, or that is represented by the independent variable, represents the R squared method. So if R square is high, which is what we had shown in the code also, it means that that particular predictor, for the predictor, if it is high, it means that predictor is very good to be used for the prediction of the corresponding target variable, because it is able to represent the variance in the dependent variable to a good extent. And therefore, we always go for a higher value of R squared and not for a lower value of R squared. That is the thing. So that is the
Means more
reason.
R square, less error.
Yes. Yeah, less error, or what, it's not exactly error. More R squared means it is going to capture the variance, that is the range of the values in the predicted variable to a great extent. So it captures the variance in the predicted variable. So let's say y is the predicted variable, and we are having, let's say, 5 independent variables x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. So if R squared value is high for x1 and x2 and low for x3, x4, x5, then it means that x1 and x2 capture the variance in y to a good extent, and they may be used for prediction of y, whereas x3, x4 and x5, they are not capturing the variance in y and hence can be ignored if they are having low values. This is the thing. So this is useful when, especially when we are trying to derive coefficients. Let's say if I'm having PCA or something and I'm trying to derive the coefficients, then we can see, or in other cases also, we can see which of the predictors are good. So how to decide, or how to see whether the predictors that we have chosen out of the given set, let's say we do some feature selection, and in feature selection we actually selected certain attributes and ignored the rest. So what we choose must be able to represent the independent variable y in a good way. And how do we see that? We can see that with the help of R squared. Of course, there are other methods also. So if the predictors are representing the variance or capturing the variance of y in a good way, then R squared will be high. And the highest value is 1. So it has to be more than 0.5. That's what we say.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? So what I'll do is, I'll try to ask some of you some questions, if you all don't have any. Allow me a minute. So I'm going to share a document which is actually a question paper of mine, and you can ignore the rest of the questions. Just forget about, so I'll just okay. So this is one question about where you have to use the knowledge about k-means. Suppose you are given a data set and the data set has q data points in it. And of course, we are supposed to form capital K number of clusters out of it. And the points are distributed in such a way that half of the points are in more dense regions and the rest of the points are in the less dense region. That is, the points are allocated in are available in such a way, they are present in such a way in the data set that some of the points are in very highly dense regions, the other are in the less dense regions. And then there's another possibility, sorry, the next thing is the two regions are well separated from each other. Then how will the centroids be allocated? By k-means. Obviously, you all know that k-means tries to minimize the sum of squared errors. In this case, what will be the scenario? This is a question, you all can give it a thought, maybe those who have formed a group. You can think in groups also. I'll allow you. Do you want to go ahead and discuss in groups, those who have formed groups, and then groups can come up with an answer? Do you want to do that? Or you want to individually think, or if there's any other question, then we can discuss about that. Do you want to go ahead with this question? I can also give you this question as an exercise. You can think about it and then we can discuss it maybe in the next class. We can do it like that also.
Ma'am, next class would work because
Yes,
we will give it thorough thought, because this is first time. I mean, you are doing it like this, and it is interesting actually. We'll study and then come back.
Okay, fine,
Yes,
fine.
that will be great
So
actually.
I'll just copy it and put it on the chat. Okay.
Ma'am, are you expecting like a conceptual subjective answer from this?
Yeah, you can give a conceptual answer or you can take an example and give. If you have an example that satisfies these constraints, then you can also explain it that way. But the thing is that it is based on conceptual thought process only, because I believe that if you are clear on your concepts, you can take up any practical situation and, you'll understand in the practical world how to use those concepts.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can I try to answer this? Like just what I thought, what came to my
Yeah,
mind.
sure, you can answer. Go ahead.
So what I'm thinking is half of the points are more dense in a certain region. That region would probably become a cluster out of the K clusters. So centroid of it would be like a arithmetic mean of all those coordinates, and the rest K minus one clusters would be the less dense regions. Uh, those would be formed based on the similar kind of clustering. Like we can't exactly know unless we see the data, but it would be more sparse and
No, the thing is, you have to assume the data. I've given you the characteristics of the data. You can assume any distribution that satisfies these. Okay.
okay.
So what you are saying is generally correct, but my question is more about how the centroids will be allocated based on the fact that we are going to use k-means. We all have studied k-means here, and k-means always does optimization on sum of squared error. That is the objective function. Now, knowing all these facts, what will happen to the clustering of these points given k-means? That is the question. So you need to specifically show to or illustrate where the centroids are going to be. I mean, I'm not saying that you give an exact location. You don't need to give any one of you. You don't need to tell me coordinates exactly, but I want to understand conceptually how k-means is going to work on these points. Okay, so I think I'll give you this as an exercise, and we can discuss in the next class first thing, and then proceed with the rest of the topics. Okay. So I'll do a stop share on this. And then okay. So any other questions anyone is having? Because this is a doubt resolution thing. So it will be good if you can, try to identify any doubts you may be having. So by the way, I've been giving you some sample exercises to do. Every week mostly on all the topics, which is on multiple answers. So the questions in your final exam will be somewhat similar to the kind of questions that I give you. So I suggest, because I think many of you had earlier suggested, not many, but few of you had suggested that you want to do some questions, and then I'd suggested grading, but there's no grading on it, because for grading we have to keep a test on a particular time. So we are not doing that, but you can do a practice on those questions. And also I suggest, please do a quick read on whatever we have done every week, so that you can keep pace. Otherwise it will be difficult and you might have a fear of getting lost. So let's talk about some practical applications if there are no other questions and all of us are here. So maybe, and it could be the groups or it could be individual. How many of you could identify some interesting problems, industry problems that are related to what we have studied, maybe clustering, classification, or regression, or anything else that you feel you were using and now you realize that it is part of what we have studied. Chintan, do you have something to say?
Yeah. So, ma'am, we are into the quality management system for the laboratories and blood centers. So my problem is they have to do regular maintenance of the equipments, and the issue is they have very less data, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So now I am struggling with what from what we have learned, which model is the best when we have only 1,000 rows, right? Data is not, you cannot predict something on that. So in that case, do we have to do something for the uh, prediction or anomaly detection we have to, or deviation detection we have to work on? And second is, uh, in many software, you can see there are the example corrective preventive actions in the aeronautic, I mean aviation industry, right? So in that they have lots of data when there is a corrective and preventive actions, and then they don't have read the time to read those whole thing, right? So what I wanted, I want to prepare a model which can predict and predict the category, and then there may be multiple categories, right? But is it right to have use machine learning in that case when we have less data, or and we have to do
Okay.
such prediction?
Okay, so going by your second question, you said, so I'll come to the first question because this is more recent. You said that you have got a lot of documentation or different use cases that in aviation that are likely to occur, but obviously in real time, nobody can go through all those cases. Is that correct? And you want to have a quick way of retrieving or being able to summarize or something like that. Is
Yes,
that what you
yes,
wanted to know?
yes, yes.
Yes. Yes, so that's very much possible. So we'll be doing NLP after the deep learning
Mhm.
session. So it's possible to summarize any given document or a set of documents. Okay. And you can do summary generation and keep the summary. And the summary also can be represented in form of a feature vector. So whenever, so whenever a document or a query comes in, so the query can be matched to the, so it will be, instead of, let's say you are having some 10,000 documents and doing a document to document search can be difficult. Rather, what you can do is summarize the documents. First of all, cluster them into categories or groups, and then each cluster can be represented by some keywords. And whenever a query comes in, then based on the keywords, those set of documents or certain documents out of that set can be retrieved. So that can be one way of doing it.
So
There are also methods called topic modeling, which is out of scope of this course. However, the topics represented in the documents also can be found out by given a set of documents, and the topic to topic match can be done also.
Uh, Ma'am, I'm extending the question. I'm just giving the example. Suppose there is a grocery store and person is buying something water bottle. Okay, then they identify that they have buy what the man buying the water bottle is also buying the soap. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm going. My example is not in the grocery store, but my question was more in line with the descriptive things and certain things in coming in the industry or in the comments, or when very large content is written, and then I have to find out related items what can happen next, you know.
Okay, okay, I got your question. So basically, you can do that. So machine learning, in machine learning, you can, I mean, I would say in data mining, you have a concept that is called association rule mining. Okay. So in association rule mining, what we do is we find out associations of what co-occurs with what. Say, for example, you're talking about water bottle plus soap or whatever, or it could be events also, like event A occurs along with event B, or event A occurs after a time t of event B. So that can be found out. There are algorithms to do that. They are not exactly part of machine learning, but they are part of data mining, and they are called association rule mining. So if you are talking about that kind of stuff, that, what are the events that co-occur, or what things are bought with what, something like that. Is that what you wanted to ask?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there are algorithms. I can give you names also. If you require, you can do a self-study. If we have time, I can cover it also, but it's not directly part of machine learning. It's part of data mining. It's called association rule mining. You can search it, you'll find a couple of algorithms in that. Okay, and then what was your first question? Is it answered, or?
Hello, ma'am. Ashish here.
Mm-hmm.
So, while I was, going through the lectures every week, so I saw something similar happening in my organization. I am thinking that I can definitely add to it. So, what we do is, suppose there's a database, then we ask a question in a natural language and we get the answer. So
Mm-hmm.
I even have the doubt. So suppose I have a question in the natural language, I get a SQL query and I get the data as well in the data frame of
Okay.
Panda. Uh, can we on the fly, because data will be lesser for the queries that come in the result. Usually they are less. So on the fly, can we generate the Python code? And I know the model creation takes time and then the response comes. So can we do some model creation and prediction on the fly while we get the data within couple of seconds? Is that doable? Do you see that doable, or do you think that no, model creation is a complex process that
Uh,
needs
so what I understand is you have a situation where what do you, your objective is to do on the fly prediction. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
so suppose somebody asks some question, not
Hmm.
only giving him the data, but also giving him some insights, some forecasts, something more insightful. Probably we can give a disclaimer in the very bottom that, this is very quick. If you want a deeper dive, you will have to go deep. But is it doable? Are there algorithms which
Yeah,
can do it on the
so
fly?
yeah, so the thing is that if you recollect, so obviously on the fly, probably if it means a fraction of a second, it may not be possible, but still uh, you do have on the fly algorithms, because actually, if you talk about prediction, there are two categories of algorithms. One, that, for the category in where you have some data in advance, you keep it, the model is ready, so prediction time is very less. So if you want your prediction time to be very less, then you need to have some training data in advance, make the model and keep it ready. Now, the only catch here is that such kind of prediction systems are meant for data whose characteristics doesn't change. So once it gets collected, some amount of data, some good amount of data, you can make a model, and then it will be very quick to make predictions on the fly only. I mean, on the fly means obviously, machine learning models are a little heavy, but still the prediction time will be very less because the model is ready already. But it will be able to predict the cases that it has learned. Now, the other scenario is that your data, your training data is never complete. It keeps on getting expanded, or the data is evolving and new concepts keep on getting added. Say, for example, as I had given you when I had explained, that there can be always certain kind of news that can keep coming up. For example, air crash. Now, air crash was there always, but it suddenly came into news because of the Ahmedabad air crash, right?
Right.
Or similarly, there could be demonetization, or there could be some things, or COVID, or something keeps coming up. So those keywords, though there, are not considered important. So for, in such cases, if we have made a model, even on NLP, on certain kind of news, still they won't be able to work well. So suppose our data keeps getting changed or it is evolving, then the other set of algorithms are used, which do not build any model, but they make use of the data that is available and then try to match it in the real time and give a prediction. So in this case, model building time is not there, but prediction time is going to be high. So based on the application, you can decide which one to use. But yes, it is possible to have on the fly, and that is the only possibility when the model is ready in advance. Then you can very quickly use it to make the prediction on the fly also. You can call it real-time prediction or, something like that.
And ma'am, these clusterings that we just did, suppose if 1,000 or 2K or 10K row come in the response from the SQL query, can we, strategically getting columns and couple of things from the LLM model and generate the Python code that create the cluster and show the data on the fly? Do you see that doable, or do you think that it won't be that meaningful?
No, I don't see that much doable, because even if the Python code you have or you're able to do it, see, clustering and such methods, they are not prescriptive, or they are just suggestive, in the sense that you use them for for doing some further analysis, for interpretability on and all. So if such models are created in a hurry, let's say clusters, they might go wrong, and there's no use of doing it. So there's a lot of iterativeness. As you have seen also in k-means, you need to decide how many clusters you want to have. Then even if you have the clusters, you might see where the validation indices are going correct or good, and all those things are there. So I wouldn't suggest having clusters on the fly, because they might turn out to be meaningless. But yes, prediction you can think of doing on the fly. It is happening also, because for example, there are a lot of real world applications that require real time prediction. Say now these days, even in healthcare, there are softwares that when surgery is happening, they indicate the green area, red area, and all that. So that's happening in real time now. So that's possible.
And when these devices that you just mentioned that do that, what is the algorithm they use? Are these same that we are studying, or they are way too different, because precision is very much accurate there. So
Yeah, so these are conceptually, they are based on this only. Only the data would vary. See, the thing is, it's all, once you actually understand all these concepts, it's all about using different kinds of data. If I'm talking about surgery, it has to be images, image data. Images are captured in real time with the help of probes that are put in the patient's body, right? And those images are actually, because now many of the surgeries, they are not real time, cutting of the skin and all that. They are all done by the help of the optical, I mean, laser, and laparoscopically they are done. So it is imagery, and on images, as the doctor is operating through laparoscopically, the images are actually used, and the regions of interest are extracted. So whatever you are studying, that has all, see, it is also a prediction problem only. You are predicting a particular area, which is a area that the surgeon should not touch. So if there are two kinds of areas, one green represents the safe area, and the red represents an area that should not be, that should not have any surgery done on it, then it is again a prediction problem only. So whatever you are doing, it is that only your data is going to be different, and the way of representing different data kinds is going to be different. That's all.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So I could see some use cases here.
No.
I could
Ma'am,
see.
I have one thing to ask. Might be not specific to the industry what I work, but previously I worked in a life science domain. So my question is, suppose someone is doing a drug testing and they are working on the components to finalize their drug or the sampling and all. So because the precision and the accuracy is more in that particular domain. Uh, so what kind of algorithms or how we like create the use case in that way?
So you said that you want to identify whether the drug is correct or not. What
Yes,
exactly?
yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Like you have different components and you need to make different combination na, before
Mm-hmm.
finalizing the drug, like you are creating for a specific problem. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm aware of there are few databases called the SAR and all, where the unstructured data is put and somehow they have written some logic over there, and it creates some combination. But if we go with the like Gen AI or in that way, so how we can achieve that thing and like in that case, as per my understanding, the algorithm should be more precise or the accuracy would be very important in that case.
Accuracy here refers to the treatment, I mean
No,
the
no, for
drug.
the drug finding, like when you do the sampling and all.
Mm-hmm. So what I understand is that there are different compounds or whatever the elements that make up the
Correct, correct,
drug,
correct, correct.
and the ratio and the composition of that. And by choosing different compositions, you do different drug test in different ways, and then you decide. Then what you want to say is that how we
Yeah,
can use.
correct.
Yeah.
For the time being, like there are multiple person or who are from the that domain, life science domain. They do that those things manually or with the help of some databases and these things. Like if we'll move it with the machine learning and all these way, so how we can achieve and what are the algorithms we can prefer over there, like to achieve accuracy in that particular phase, because no one want to take the ownership when it goes to the machine.
Yeah. So actually for this, what I would feel is that whenever certain drugs are, getting tested, if that kind of data is actually archived, then that could be used to train models, and such models can be, used to make predictions in future. So if you have some past data about certain type of compositions, because again, composition categories may be there, so based on that, what was the response on the, on the patients or on ever whatever the way the testing is done. So if you have certain data, you can use it to model, uh, you know, uh, machine learning. You can use it to fit on a machine learning model, and then use it to make prediction. And obviously, out of the given models, you could choose precision as an important performance matrix. Definitely, you can do that. If we talk about generative AI, so generative AI can help us to, you know, with the help of that, you can actually look at certain use cases that probably may not have been formed, or they may not be there, or they may be possible, like, but haven't yet been thought of. So basically here we, in generative AI, we actually create something which didn't exist. So there could be combinations, or possibly out of the given set of elements, there could be a new element added into the composition, something like that. So that we can do, but definitely we should have some prior data, because all this machine learning relies on some training or some data. So that is required if we want to see, let's say we had certain kind of compositions and we want to see whether a new composition of a similar category, how is it going to work on certain set of patients or whosoever it is tested on. But we should have some data. Without data, machine learning guys are just, you can they can do nothing. That's the thing.
Yeah, why I'm asking that, like I worked in a previous like companies or you can say the project. So how
Mm-hmm.
the drug industry work, as per my understanding, there's a life
Mm-hmm.
cycle of 10 years, And within 10 years, like you can hold a license of any drug for a 10 years. After that, it will be a generic medicine. Anyone can, any company can use that license to that. So monopoly you have until you will register something new under that drug. Like you achieve something new, you added some, you can resolve any new disease or something like that. So because like testing a drug to make it available in the market take at least 5 years of period. So before that, you have only a 5 year of span to do all the things. So sometimes like when I work with those guys, it is a hectic for them to manually do everything. And
Yeah. So what you're saying is correct. In fact, this thing came up especially during COVID times when vaccines were made in a very short period of time without doing all those testing and all that stuff. But only thing is that to be able to use machine learning, AI, deep learning, anything, data is the first thing that is required, which is relevant data in the sense that it is similar to use cases. So that without that we can't do. Suppose the tests that were done earlier on some kind of similar, uh, compounds or similar compositions, if that is there, and what is the response on people, that can be used. Other than that, without data, we can't do anything. That is a issue with any machine learning problem. Without data, we are just sitting doing nothing. So, and especially in the medical world, there are so many variables. For example, the COVID vaccine wasn't tested enough, and then there are so many different kinds of side effects those have caused on people that are coming up even till date. That is a thing. So, eh, so it may not be that very easy also, because so many variables are there and all that data needs to be collected and then fed to the model for it to be able to predict nicely. That is a thing.
sure, man. Like my thing is that even on the lower level, if the data is collected and they have the data and they need to research for the new thing, like what are the algorithms we can prefer in that way? Like we have a set of data, although it will be unstructured, we can consider. And then what algorithms we can prefer? Like who can like in the way we get more accuracy, because once we have the data, even finalizing that thing, like it will be fit market fit or something like that.
So actually, it's very difficult to say which algorithm will be best suited. For example, I have covered a certain set of algorithms. There are more also for, for supervised learning and also for unsupervised learning. Because the nature of the data, without seeing the data, so that's a general comment I'm making. To be able to, predict or to be able to suggest what will be best, you will actually have to look at the data and try different algorithms on it. There is no generic rule that, okay, this algorithm is going to work well, this is going to give a good precision. But if you feel that there is going to be some kind of linearity in the data, then you can try linear models. And if you see non-linearity, try non-linear models. That all you can do. However, we cannot say that, okay, this is going to be good and this is going to be bad. No, we can't do that till we actually have a look at the data, whatever you are saying, the unstructured data. But generally, if we talk about non-linear models are quite good, in which simple models like random forest, XGBoost and all, they give good accuracy. If we talk about simple machine learning models, otherwise then we also have deep learning models. Again, it depends what we have to do, what kind of data it is. Based on that only we can decide the deep learning models to be used. But of course, it cannot be said with certainty that this is going to be good or bad. That you have to try and see.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your input. Because a few days back, there is a debate, and there's an article basically, and on that there is a debate like if in the medical science, if they go with these components and they will like automate the process if later in the later stages there is a side effect or something like that, the
Hmm.
ownership of the like who will take the ownership. So there's an article, there's a debate between the people. So I thought like in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a subject also called ethical AI. If we have time, then we can have some guest lecture on it where you actually learn all this also. Like this is a kind of a what should I say? It's a kind of a dilemma. The amount of data you have, then you want to make use of it. But if you make use of data, then you are giving the power to an algorithm to decide something. Now, based on the characteristics of the data or otherwise, also the model can be biased towards certain kind of judgments or decisions. Now, those decisions can keep coming in. Those decisions can be used by some humans to take some further course of action. Now, who will take ownership of it? The person who made the model, or the person who's using the model, or no one, or the model, because model is no entity. So then what happens? So these are all unanswered questions, but of course they are there. That comes with anything, any technology thing. Use and misuse both come in. But of course, yes, it's interesting to think about these. And we are all talking about learning. Now, recently, there's a lot of research going on unlearning also. So machines are being, we are still talking about learning how to, making machines learn. Now, currently, so once the machine learns to think certain way, I teach the model to learn certain concepts, and then after learning, it's going to make a prediction in that way only. Now, in the recent times, there is a lot of literature recently coming up on unlearning. So there are use cases where unlearning is also required because there are certain new concepts, but the model is not able to work on them because it has learned something. Then we want it to unlearn and then learn new thing. That is also there. Of course, that is beyond the scope of this course, but I'm just generally telling you.
Is it a case of overfitting?
No, it's not a case of overfitting at all. So overfitting comes in when we are building a model, right? Now, and after the model is stabilized, that is overfitting, underfitting, everything handled, the model is ready. Now, model is ready to predict. So it has learned some things. It has learned to predict in certain way, certain use cases. Now, what can happen is that this learning can also be, in certain cases, uh, you know, it can be critical in the sense that the model will be predicting only that what it has learned. But there may be some new concepts we want the machine to learn. For example, I already told you that we need the training data in advance. Now, our model, once it is stabilized, that is no underfitting, overfitting, and all that. So it has learned the training data, it's going to make prediction based on that only. But what if our training data itself changes? Then what do we do? But the model has learned something, it will continue to predict that only. So it's kind of foolish, isn't it? You teach it something and it goes on and on repeating that thing only. So, and we are all studying all this here, right? So, in a way, if we give it a thought, as humans, we are so adaptive. We keep learning new things and we keep changing our learning also, but machines can't do it. So, now recently, there is work where machines are made to unlearn past concept and then learn new one. So, there's a lot of research going on. It's still in its nascent stage because more focus is more on learning only, but unlearning is also required. In humans, that happens automatically, that when we want to update something, let's say we had a certain way of doing a task, like there were key handsets, or the physical key phones were there. Then the soft key came in and people stopped using and they learned and all that thing. So things happen adaptively. For computer systems, that doesn't happen. So a lot of things are there actually like that. So, okay, any other questions? Otherwise, we can wrap up for today, and then you all can have a longer evening to uh, enjoy with family or to do something. If we have questions, we can continue.
Ma'am, so unlearning is like kind of making the weights that are responsible for certain data that we want to unlearn it. Those weights would we would want it to become negligible, or like it doesn't get activated. Is that the kind of idea?
Yeah, it can be implemented in a lot of ways. The implementation could be that uh, if it involves some hyperparameters, then those hyperparameters or those weights could be reduced, or the machine can be made to, for example, there could be a fading factor that could be added. So, for example, if I have got a data, then the data has some time. Let's say I associate certain amount of data as it keeps coming in with a factor, and that factor is keeps on fading with time. Let's say that you know certain data I have at time t1, then I give it a value, let's say 1. Now based on some linear or non-linear function, as the value of time increases, from 1 the value of the weight keeps on decreases, so the data will keep on fading, and therefore uh, what will happen is that the dominance of the past data will decrease, and the new data's the weight given to new data or recent data will be more. So there is a kind of a fading factor also that can be influenced, that can be added, and that can help to do the unlearning, because old data can be made irrelevant also. So after a point in time, we can completely fade it out also. That is another way of doing. So it can be implemented in a couple of ways. What you have said also can be done. So yeah, there's a lot of research going on unlearning, to what extent it should be done, how it should be done, and all that stuff still going on. So then there are also things like what may be sensitive, that we should remove or we shouldn't remove. There may be certain data or certain attributes that may be sensitive, that cannot be removed or that should be removed definitely. So those things are also there. Then I already talked about the fading factor or forgetfulness that can be added to the data, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of um aspects in our learning also. It's still being researched. Any other thoughts or any other discussion anyone is having, or any questions that you would want to ask? So how should we decide the date? I think we just stop discussing about that. How do you propose we finalize the date for the exam? You all can think about it. Chintan, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, man. Madam, one of the point, suppose I was thinking about one of the project, and see, we have no code platform, right? So in no code platform, you can develop whatever things you want as per the requirement. And so another thought is coming in the mind. Can we have a uh, concept like whenever you are putting the data, any kind of data, and you just have to provide the input, then system automatically identify which machine learning concept he has to use there,
Okay.
so the concept is write a code such that, is there anything available, so based on data, suppose example I am giving the population related data, right? So system
Okay.
will automatically identify what is the objective of that. Suppose equipment related data, then system will identify it is a predictive maintenance, it is a aviation, whatever it is. So Is there anything available such that we can just provide a data and system will uh, identify which is the best algorithm and what should be the uh, user is expecting?
So, unfortunately, to the best of my knowledge, there is no such software that is available that will automatically do everything. However, you can also write some code if you wish, in which you can code a couple of algorithms, the data can be fed, and then the result of all the algorithms that you want generally to be worked upon, you will get the outcome. For example, suppose I have any data. I want to build such a thing that what you are saying. So what I do, I code different supervised learning algorithms like k nearest neighbor, decision tree, random forest, SVM, all that I write in a code. I also include some code for clustering in it, something for EDA, something like that, whatever I want to do. Now, whenever input comes in, this input data is fed to all of these code and all the results come out, then you can pick out which one is useful for you, which one makes sense. You can use it for your further analysis, but definitely it cannot be so generic. See, whenever you have a data, then you also have an objective associated with it, that what you want to broadly do with it. If you don't know yourself what you want to do with the data, then how can a machine help you? You need to tell the machine, right? It's not a human. So you need to tell, or else you need to have a code that has got all kinds of components in it, like clustering, classification, anomaly detection. Everything is pre-coded. You feed the data, look at the outcome, whatever is useful, you choose it, rest you just ignore. Okay. So this is how it works.
Yeah, so the question behind asking this is, suppose, see, technology is expanding with a great speed, right? But there are users who don't know the technology, right? And they certainly they want something from the machine learning, and they don't know the concept, you know. So the reason behind asking this question is that we know it is not possible, but if there's something in the market or you are aware about it, that's why I asked. Yeah.
So that's what I'm telling you, that if such a requirement is there, that the only ways, I'm not aware of any such algorithm that you give a data, then it will tell what is what technique is going to work well on it and all that stuff. It won't tell. But what you could have, or you could easily code, is that you pre-code all the algorithms you feel are relevant, and whenever you give that particular code, the input could be any data, and what it is going to, what I'm saying is, whatever algorithms you feel are going to be relevant, or whosoever, even if it is a naive user, for him somebody has to do some software. So whosoever is doing, let's say, then the code of a whole variety of algorithms like clustering, classification, whatever, all that is incorporated in the code, so that whenever data is given as an input, the outcome of all of this is made available to the user. Then the user can pick up whatever is useful, can choose from that. But out of that, making a, because see, if we use clustering and we use classification, then these are completely two different things, right? So to make a choice between them is a little difficult. That machine cannot do until unless there's some prior information or problem statement or something is given. If that is available, then yes, it's possible.
Also, ma'am, there are some like AutoML libraries are there right now, and also some Google Data Science Agent is also there. Like if we give the problem and data, it can like generate methods and do all the data science work. But when I saw it, it was not like very like it can't think as better as humans as of now. It's still
Obviously,
in early stage.
yeah, yeah. So that's true. Even if you do simple tasks like a translation of a language, say Hindi to English or English to Hindi, that will be very bad. Sometimes it is even meaningless because of the fact that machines cannot do this this task. Any other comments or questions? Anyone? So if there are no questions or comments, then we can wrap up for today. Yeah. I think important thing again we are missing. How do we decide the date of the exam? Either we keep it February 8 only, but I do not want to keep it hanging up to the last moment, because then you can't block your calendar. So to block your calendar, you should know it in advance. It's an important date. So how do we actually decide the date if it has to be different from February 8? And I think February uh, 15 is also not working. Somebody's having a clash. Then how do we decide? Any suggestions? Do we have a let's say we choose some 3-4 dates, and do we have a poll on that? But again, having a poll is also not going to help, because if someone says no, then again it becomes difficult. Then what should we
First
do?
of February, a week before it, the 1st of Feb.
1st of Feb. How does 1st of Feb sound to all of you?
I think, ma'am, we can do on 1st of Feb. That will be okay.
1st of Feb.
Everyone is okay with this.
I'm okay, 1st of Feb.
1st of Feb is okay. So, Simran, I would request you to make an announcement about the exam being on 1st Feb in place of 8th of Feb. Probably people can respond with a confirmation on their availability. If you can just please roll out this kind of a survey, then if there is anybody having a clash, because some people have left the meeting and some are not there, so no one should be having any issue. So if we
Sure,
do
ma'am.
that, yeah. And please also maybe you can indicate, it's very important, because once frozen, we are going to freeze it by the next week, or on the basis of that survey or poll, whatever you're doing. And then we'll finalize. You can propose 1st February in there. Any other date? Maybe we should have 2 dates, or should we go with 1 date only?
Yeah, ma'am. So what I was trying to say is maybe 2 dates can help. People can be comfortable either of it, but not more than that. I think, yeah, I mean, if first everyone is fine, then that's great. But I'm not sure if someone else has some other problems, then I'm thinking maybe 2 dates
But
we can have. But I understand
but
like, then you have to have like 2 sets of questions and the notes are
no,
there.
so I was not talking about 2 different exams on 2 dates. What I was saying was that options of that single exam, I mean 2 options in terms of dates, but the only thing
Okay.
is,
It will be only on one day only.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah. So I think there's no point giving a second option, because then
Okay.
there could be a dividedness, and that we don't want.
Yeah.
So we could give
But
an
ma'am, on
option of,
1st of Feb, I can see there is a mini project presentation. That one will we be postponing it?
yeah, so that can be deferred based on the, if people everyone is agreeable for the
Mm-hmm.
exam on 1st Feb, that will be on higher priority,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
that's going to help you score marks on which you get the certificate. So we can adjust the other things accordingly, no issue.
Okay.
So I think that will be good for the 1st Feb. Simran is going to give a poll or a survey. Please do respond on that so that we can finalize it. Anything else, any other thing left out, then we can discuss. Otherwise, we can wrap up for today.
Lokesh message 22nd Feb. What is it? I'm not able to understand. Lokesh, do you want the exam to be on 22nd Feb? Not sure.
Yeah, yes, written date of
Date
exam.
of exam. So, okay. But we're
That's
talking
the
about 1st of Feb, Lokesh. I think, yeah.
Lokesh, are you comfortable 1st of Feb? or you're not comfortable 1st of Feb? Because some people have suggested 1st Feb.
Lokesh, if you're there, you can speak up, maybe share.
Anyway, I think he can answer on the poll if he has. Lokesh, if you have any specific problems or conflicts on 1st of Feb, please feel free to say now, because couple of us are there and we can think of another date. Otherwise, probably we might finalize on Feb 1st only, if everyone is agreeable. So I think Lokesh can respond on the poll if he has a clash. Otherwise, we assume he doesn't have it. Oh, okay. You're talking about 1st of Feb? Any conflict on 1st of Feb? Can you just please speak? You can turn on your audio and speak. So you're comfortable with 22nd Feb only, or some other dates also?
Looks like, ma'am, he is having issue on 1st of Feb. He said yes when you asked, like, to Feb is fine or not. So
Yeah, so I was wondering if only 22nd Feb is what is suitable. Now so the next thing is that he's having, that's a problem. So I have to announce a date, and that's all now. Unfortunately, cannot incorporate
yeah.
all these things. So then then again 1st Feb is ruled out. Then can you all suggest something? Now you had suggested 1st Feb. Any other date you want to suggest, all of you? Do you want to go with 22nd Feb?
So, ma'am, maybe we can have a poll where we have 1st Feb, 22nd Feb, and either or, right? So, we can have a poll there if anybody, whichever gets the best, we can go with that. So
Yeah, but
basically, I think for most of us, the calendar is too far. We don't even know what's happening on 22nd or this. It's only the problem is with people who already have something planned. For the rest of us, we don't even know what's happening in the next year.
that's very correct. But the only thing is, at least you know that you have an exam.
That's true.
So you can block your calendar, and if if your family wishes to attend a wedding, you might as well skip attending it. It will be bad if you make flight tickets and then you come to know that you have an exam.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's the reason we want to keep it well in advance, so you know that you are having something on that day. So, but the only problem is in the poll having two dates like 1st and 22nd Feb is that if some people go for 22nd and some go for 1st, then we cannot decide on any of those. That's the problem. In fact, that's the reason we are discussing this here, because 8th Feb I already announced. But then there was a clash of somebody having a wedding on that day. And now this has all started. And then in the last time, we went for 15th, which was agreeable to everyone. Now there is a clash on that. Then we are having 1st, again clash on that, and now 22nd. That I don't know. So probably then 22nd, we can take a poll. People who are here, if you have a clash, you can tell now and suggest another date. So instead of 1st, Simran, you can please do the poll for 22nd Feb, and let's see how people indicate. I don't know. Of course, all these days are wedding days. It's also said ना, साए सो जाते हैं. I don't know कब सो रहे हैं वो. उन दिनों में रख लें फिर. I really don't know, but fine. Okay, 22nd Feb will take a toll and poll, and then let's see. So then, if there are no further questions or discussions, shall we wrap up for today then?
Even if one person has a problem with Feb 22, that poll would get cancelled, right? Or is that how it works?
So the thing is, we don't want people to miss out on the exam, though it is possible that on each and every day there is going to be a clash. So I just want to see Let's say if we have 22nd, see, if we keep having clashes like this, then I'll continue to have the exam on 8th only, if none of the dates. So what I'm trying to do is help people who are having a clash on 8th. But if we are not going to work on any alternate date, if we are not able to finalize anything else, then it happens when it is announced, and that's the end of it. We cannot keep on having it like first, 15th, 22nd, then something, something, something. It goes on and on and on.
Yes, ma'am. I think the exam should be one of the most priority for every one of us. And unless it was already some very important occasion which got fixed in their calendar, that is the case, it should be fine for all of us.
Yeah, and that's the reason we are doing it so much in advance, that you don't fix anything and you don't commit anything else at that time. Of course, so that's
Considering
the
even if
reason.
the exam happens only on a Sunday, a Saturday is not in consideration. Like if it's not 8th, the 7th, or maybe if it's not 22nd,
No,
the
we can have
21st.
it Saturday also, no issues. We can have it any day. In fact, working day also we can have. But
No,
only thing
working
is,
might be a challenge, ma'am.
yeah, yeah.
Let's not keep working.
Yeah, so Sunday I suggested because some may be having a working day on Saturday also sometimes. So that's the reason I had scheduled on Sunday, but there is no issue. We can have it on Saturday also. You all can suggest a date, a Saturday date also, we can have it. And also from the previous batches and cohorts, I've always got the opinion from learners that if you keep on Sunday, we get a Saturday to do the last minute just in time learning.
Yeah,
So
that is correct. Actually, just the day before is Friday, we'll be tired and office work, so no time to revise and stuff. So I think Saturday we'll take the time to revise, and maybe Sunday would be good.
so that's the reason I,
Yeah, just recalling my school days and college days exams. So yeah, that's how we need to revise.
yeah. So that's the reason I kept on Sunday. But if you all say, we can keep it on Saturday. Any date that is okay. Any date is fine with me as long as it is fine with everyone else.
I think let's proceed with the poll on 22nd, and then let's be done with it, because
Yeah.
yeah, people like we have heard people having problem on, for I think 8th and 15th also. So
And first.
and first as well. So I think we are left with 22nd now. Would
Yeah.
request Lokesh maybe to plan it something in a different way, maybe see, because we have some time, we have a lot of time if things can be changed.
Lokesh has suggested 22nd Feb only.
Lokesh has suggested 22nd Feb, no?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Then we are
why.
good. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
misunderstood. Yeah, I think that
Okay.
should be good.
Okay, I think Teej, you have a question on campus immersion. So right now, as I already mentioned in the previous time when we discussed, because at that I'll have to look at the logistics at my end. So I will be able to suggest to you maybe, but I'll suggest to you or, I'll indicate to you well in advance to plan your travel in case you wish to come. But that will be like 2 to 3 months towards the end of the course. I'll have to look at the availability of the guest house and everything at my end. So, but I'll give you enough time so that you don't have to do a last minute uh, flight booking or train booking and all that. So you'll have enough time to do all that. Okay. Okay, then I think we'll wrap up for today. Have a great evening. We'll meet tomorrow then. Okay.
Thank
And
you, ma'am.
tomorrow we are going to have a hands-on on lasso and ridge regression. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Bye-bye.